Now logically, I would have no business trying to advocate any specific system of better governing Australia, since I've never studied Australia and have never been there. But obviously, something must be done. That much is obvious, and I can and will apply common sense and logic to the situation while others don't. And there are several causes, not just one, which I'll get to in a bit. Now, some fire is good since it gets rid of dead trees and decaying matter, returning nutrients contained therein to the soil. Fire has helped insects and birds eat through and peck through trees for food by weakening them enough for access to their nutrients. Some species actually require fire to sprout since their seeds are otherwise locked into resin-sealed cones. However, since we live in an age of advanced science, forestry specialists should know enough not to eliminate or attempt to eliminate fires completely, and should know how much fire is beneficial and how much is not. But instead we have these extreme devastating infernos. In Australia's 2019 to 2020 fires, an estimated 1.25 billion animals were killed. Around half of the Australian continent's koalas perished, and numerous species, fellow living beings, are now threatened with extinction. Australia has been known as one of the most fire-prone regions of our planet since the mid-1800s. So there is no excuse for claiming that the recent tragedy took everyone by surprise and so were unable to prevent it. In fact, in April 2019, 23 former fire and emergency service chiefs from across the country warned that Australia was unprepared for what was to come. But who listened? And now modern satellites can do a much better job of predicting and spotting fires in time than forest rangers with binoculars can. But who made use of the technology? A holocaust, by definition, is a complete or thorough sacrifice or destruction, especially by fire. So, after being given the facts about Australia's burning in 2020, you had better not call any other event the Holocaust. This is the Holocaust, a horrible sacrifice to human degeneracy and stupidity. Climate change? Consider that California's hottest recorded summer was in 2017, which surpassed their second hottest recorded summer in 2016. 19 out of California's 20 most destructive fires occurred from 1991 to 2018, the number one most destructive being 2018's Camp Creek Road Fire. The largest wildfire ever recorded in California was 2018's Mendocino Complex Fire. 8 of Australia's 10 warmest years on record occurred since 2005. New South Wales experienced the longest continuously burning bushfire complex in Australia's history, burning as much as the 2018 California wildfires and 2019 Amazon rainforest wildfires combined. Some areas of Australia burned that had not burned in 1,000 years. Between these facts and the data collected from satellite instruments and imagery, it is beyond a reasonable doubt that harmful climate change is definitely occurring. Yes, some misguided activists were part of the cause too, as they opposed all intentional burning. Yet controlled burns in periods of high rainfall are necessary. These are variously called prescribed burns, backfires, or burn-off. These are fires intentionally set upon brush and trees that connect major sections of forest and shrubs, which are supervised and then extinguished. This makes breaks in the potential fuel chains, like removing single dominoes from a long row, so continuity of action cannot occur. In this case, trees endlessly igniting other trees is stopped. Then there were numerous arsonists who purposely burned Australia down. People deliberately or accidentally setting fires is probably the number one cause. Quoting Christian scriptures, Revelation 11:18, God shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. And consider that the animals did not die humanely. They burned to death or died of smoke inhalation searing their lungs, or crushed by falling trees. Yet trees or ordinarily giving since they produce oxygen, important wood products, and food, while humans always produce waste and garbage. So here are needed solutions. 1. Increased climate change education. For those companies who still exacerbate climate change anyway, stop doing business with them. And perhaps end or at least curtail Australia's capitalist and democratic aspects, replacing them with National Socialism. 2. Educate environmentalists so they don't resist controlled burning methods. 3. Punish all officials who could have heeded the warnings and used satellite technology to prevent most of the devastation. Impose extremely high fines and long prison sentences on them. 4. Give every known arsonist the death penalty. The careless people, too, since it's the same result. Perhaps throw them into the same fires they set. 5. Plant more pyrophytic plants in place of standard plants. That is, species that are especially fire resistant via tall crowns, lack of lower branches to catch fire, or thermal insulation provided by extra thick bark, layered leaves, or extra moist tissue. Finally, we must do whatever we can to shatter the delusion in ourselves or others that humans are gods of infinite value who have the right to destroy all other created life. In fact, the average human is not worth shit. If it takes beating on every arrogant brat on earth with a baseball bat to pound the truth into them, so be it.